as in the mafia, but Palomino as in communism. Easy way to think of that, remember it. So I'm going to be upfront with you right here from the start. You can see me, what I look like. I am not going to tell any gay jokes. I'm telling you that right now. And the reason why, not my first rodeo, the reason why I'm telling you that is that I don't want to get to the end of my set of jokes and you're like, she didn't tell any gay jokes. Does she not know she's gay? Let me be straight with you. I know I'm gay. You know I'm gay. Let's just get on with things. That's actually how I came out to my family. Went pretty well. I will tell you, this is not a popular opinion, but I am not an animal lover. Is she a lesbian? So it was radical about 8 years ago when I decided to reboot my life and adopt a dog from a shelter. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I guess you could say, actually, I rescued her, right? That's what they say. You know, I really don't like it when people say, who rescued who? First of all, it's who rescued you. Second of all, until she does some laundry and starts working a part-time job, I will assume the rescuing role. I will. I actually adopted her about 8 years ago. I had brought her home on New Year's Eve. And we sat there and stared at each other, wondering if this was a good idea, until 2018. She is a pit bull mix. That is correct. She is of mixed race. I told her not to be self-conscious about that. Most people in this country are of mixed race anymore, right? In fact, I had this conversation with her the first time we went out in the neighborhood. I said, it is in fact really hard to find a purebred American anymore, and not to be self-conscious. And if you're wondering if that's accurate or not, you can just check with the Republican Party. Just feeling it out, feeling it out. Light on the political jokes. No, I didn't know I was going to get a dog, so I certainly didn't know what kind of dog I wanted to get. But as I started looking, I realized I know there are kinds of dogs that I do not want to get. For example, I knew right away that I didn't want to get a lab. And I knew that simply based on the experience I had with my cousin's lab, and he has a meth lab. Not for me. I also knew that I didn't want to get a German Shepherd or an Irish Setter because I didn't want to have to carry their passports around all the time. I knew I didn't want to get a bloodhound. I would be up all night worrying when she was out solving crimes. Obviously, I didn't want a wiener dog. Because they're prone to back problems. I told you, no lesbian jokes. Focus. So when I was thinking about what to name her, I didn't want to name her something ridiculous like Confetti or Hot Pocket or whatever. So I named her Eleanor Roosevelt. It's true. I wanted to name her after a strong woman of history, but also something that would always make me laugh when I said her name. It's not every day you get to say, Eleanor Roosevelt peed in your yard. Or Eleanor Roosevelt, get out of the garbage can. I don't use her full name very often. Usually her friends and I call her Ellie. But I do use her full name when, of course, she's in trouble or when she speaks at a women's conference. Which has only been twice so far. When she does get in trouble, I send her to a room and she has two options. She can either read a banned book or report back, or she can Google images of women's suffrage. Like some of you in your parenting, I'm learning even with Eleanor Roosevelt, I can't be her friend, man. It is tough. I've got to be her parent. And I'm really hoping it pays off someday when she gets into a good college. That's what I'm hoping for. You know, my good friends were shocked when I decided to adopt a dog, and they said, Katie, it's so mature of you to put away your preconceived ideas of dogs ruining your house and messy and smells, which is what I was worried about. These are the same friends, however, that will tell you that I'm very immature because I'm kind of a picky eater. I prefer to say I have a sophisticated palate. But here's my question about picky eating. Why am I a picky eater? Because I like food the way I like it. I'm a picky eater. What about people with dietary restrictions? Right? We all know people, probably some are out tonight in this crowd, who are vegan, who are vegetarian, who are dairy-free, gluten-free, or as I call them, friend-free. I think it's politics. I think that's the difference. Right? I remember when I was a little kid, I did not like peanut butter. And a handful of times I said that to someone, and the adult always said, "What kid doesn't like peanut butter?" And I literally was like, "Me, I just told you that." I learned pretty quickly, though, if I said I was allergic to peanut butter, that was the end of the conversation. Which was a crazy thing growing up in the 80s because no one was allergic to anything. Right? And if you did have an allergic reaction, you ate what everybody else ate and got sick in the privacy of your own home and no one cared. Yay, 80s, right? You've heard people say things like this. I don't eat meat. I don't eat meatloaf specifically because of animals. Well, I don't eat meatloaf because it's gross. I don't eat dairy because it makes me throw up. I don't eat oatmeal because it looks like throw up. I only eat organic. Well, I only eat from Domino's Pizza. Get over yourself. Right? It's politics. It's politics. So I know some people genuinely have reactions to foods, but that same genuine reaction is how I feel when I'm faced with pesto. Ooh, gross. Not a fan. Right? I'll leave you with this. I truly believe that a part of my eating problems involve the fact that I have a really, really, really strong sense of smell. Like, I'm good. I sniffed out birthday cake on people before. Like, what birthday cake before they got here? And honestly, if I had thought through this a little bit back in the day before I started a career with that skill, I know I could have been a fantastic crime dog. Kate Palomino, I am a lesbian!